It's really kind of difficult and takes every ounce of my courage to speak to people that look very much like you again. And on the other hand, would this be a problem if I introduce you to another phase of BTW, that is Behind the Words, a program that analyzes literature. It talks about, any work of art. In fact, it entertains anything that is of art. I'm Hassan Abdusalam, and with me is a wonderful personality in the house, Sheikh Abbas. Sheikh Abbas is a public speaking coach. He is here to teach us on how to speak publicly. I know so many people are eager to be public speakers, but they don't have the techniques to be one. Mr. Sheikh Abbas. I would say Sheikh Abbas because
Yes. Actually, I'm gratefully honored to be in this house, which I was welcomed hospitality. Actually, I really chose the way I was welcomed by the station management. As you introduced me, I'm Sheikh Abbas by name, a public speaking coach, a facilitator of public speaking in many centers. Today, we are going to talk about public speaking and the reason why people feel nervous and the way forward, the way we can overcome the fear and nervous of public speaking.
all right. First of all, a lot of people don't even know what public speaking is. You understand? Let alone going into it, because some people just dabble into public speaking without knowing what it is. So let's hear from the horse's mouth. As a coach, what is public speaking?
Yes, actually, many people do not understand what public speaking is all about. When they see a person just speaking before the audience, they just describe it as public speaking, which is not public speaking actually. When we say public speaking is a kind of speech whereby a speaker stands before the audience to give a speech. That simply means live audience. It's unlike all kind of speeches that all the presentation that someone does, like just a recording or something that person created then later on uploaded. That one is not public speaking. Public speaking is a kind of speech whereby people gathered more than from 2 to 3. You understand?
Yeah.
That's what Aristotle said. So that is what you call public speaking. A kind of speech whereby a person stands before the people and to address the people and talk to them. So by public speaking.
Well, obviously, you need a topic to discuss.
Yes.
Good.
And also public speaking is a structured and intended manner whereby we do public speaking because of 3 reasons. Either to inform, influence, or entertain.
Okay.
That's the main purpose of doing public speaking. And because of that nature, public speaking has to be structured in deliberate manner.
Okay, but there are techniques of public speaking. Let's go into the techniques now, because I know there are so many techniques of public speaking. Now, let's take them one after the other. Let's hear from the horse's mouth again.
Yes, thank you so much. When we say techniques of public speaking, a good public speaker is somebody who uses public speaking techniques in his speech. These techniques are as follows. We have the first one is care about your topic. When you say care about your topic, as a person who is going to present a speech, he has to care about his topic. Like how? By research, consulting books, reading many books, as far as the topic is concerned. You need to know as much as possible about what you are going to present. If you can, spend the whole hours, or years, or month practicing your speech, consulting books, knowing things. Even if you don't know something, you need to go and ask somebody who has presented about that particular topic for you to have experience and what you're going to present before the audience. So you have to care about your topic first. That are 4 things that a person should do when he wants to present a speech. The more care you show about your topic, the more possibility for you to make the presentation effectively. That's the nature. And the next one is when we say remember your speaking goals. It's another technique of public speaking. A person should or must remember his speaking goals. How can you remember your speaking goals? You can say a speaker, somebody who is presenting a speech, end up beating around the bush, talking about something which is not the actual thing the person should be talking about.
Well,
So
don't you think that depends on the ability of that person, the ability to speak? Because sometimes a public speaker may not even making any point. He may be saying things that are, banal, but becomes original,
yeah,
in the ears of the listeners. You understand?
yeah.
So it depends on who is even speaking.
No, actually, there is nothing in this public speaking. There is nothing like this in public speaking.
Okay.
A person should remember his speaking goals. What is your goals? Is it to inform, persuade, or entertain? I told you that we are doing public speaking because of these 3 reasons: either to inform, or to influence, or to entertain. Do you understand? You have to stick to your own Goals. What is my goals? What is my target? What am I targeting? Do you understand? Is it to convince the audience to agree with something? Is it to persuade them? Is it to inform them? Is it to entertain them? So you need to stick on that very thing so that you will reach your target, or you will get what you are targeting.
So, but then when you look at you talked about the goals. You understand? You set goals. Why are you even speaking to the people?
Yeah.
Are you speaking to inform them?
Yes.
Or entertain them?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
even
to persuade them, to convince them to agree with something.
Agree with something.
Yes.
But then the audience now, don't you think you should know the audience first?
We are coming to this place.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, we are coming to this place. So there's the next one is support your main points. How could you support your main points? Yes, actually, when a speaker is presenting something, like you are trying to inform other people to get something, or to add more knowledge to what the knowledge they have, you need to support your main points. How could you support your main points? By just giving examples, by giving statistical data, by providing something that will support what you are talking about. Example, I'm talking about rampant divorce. I need to come up with a statistical figure of the rampant divorce every year. Do you understand? Or every month. Now I'm talking about drug abuse. I need to come up with some examples that is related to drug abuse. Why people are drug addict. Statistical figure. Numbers of people that are drug addict in the world, or in the country, or in the particular place that you're talking about. We need to spot our main points for audience to understand things precisely. So this is about support your main points. The next one is number 4 is tell a story. You know, people love story. People actually want to hear stories. Since we are young, we do listen to our grandma, grandpa just tell a story, right? So we can use story as a tools to convince the audience to have interest. Do you understand? Yeah. To be loving what you are presenting. Do you understand? To admire your speech. So we need to tell other people's story, but the story should be related and relatable to what you are presenting. And the story should be short and precise. You need to bring a story that is connected, directly or indirectly, to what you are presenting.
But then, while speaking, you know, sometimes you said you can tell a story.
Yeah.
And while telling a story, make sure your story is related to what your topic.
Yes.
But at some point, can't you digress totally from the point of the topic of discussion?
No, you are not digressing.
Right? No, can't you digress?
Absolutely, you cannot digress.
Why not?
Because when you digress, the audience may lose interest. They may start saying that actually this speaker is beating around the bush, talking about something that is not what gathered us here.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Go on.
Yes. The next one is practice your speech. You know, many there is all saying, or I can say proverb, which says practice makes perfect.
Yes.
As a speaker who wants to be a great public speaker, he has to practice his speech by practicing it, doing it, reading it. Do you understand? Even if you don't have somebody to practice your speech with, you need to have a mirror.
We do, but then the mirror effect, does it really work?
Actually, it works.
Because a lot of people are in fact, they are really going against the idea of you standing in front of the mirror and talking to the mirror just to get, you know, accustomed with whatever it is you want to present.
Actually, public speakers expert to talk about this. Actually, put a mirror before your walls. Do you understand? To stand before that mirror to talk about that mirror. Do you understand? Actually, it helps a lot for you to see, know the body language, even the gesture, facial expressions, how you look. Because that mirror serves.
Is there any specific way you should look at your audience?
Yeah, actually.
Because if I stroll down the memory lane, you understand, I had a discussion with a public speaker. You understand? It's a public speaking coach like you are, you know. And he said that while speaking to the audience, to the public, you need to choose a particular person or a particular position that you look.
Yes, that's what we call. I'm coming to this. That what we call as eyes contact.
Okay.
Eyes contact.
Okay.
It's among the techniques whereby a speaker has to look at the eyes of this audience to make eye contact with them. Either they are getting the point or not. You need to do that. So by eye contact, you need to make eye contact. From there, you are developing gender stand interest from the audience as well as from yourself. So we need to look at the eyes of our listeners so that we may understand whether they are getting the point or not. But when somebody just digresses from looking at the eyes, how could you justify, how could you understand that the audience are getting the point or are getting the message?
You know, sometimes it depends on the mannerisms of the person speaking. You know, sometimes just gesture, like you said, the gesture. You know, sometimes when you're speaking to the public or to a group of people and you want them to follow you, to pay attention, you make some gestures. You understand? Just like you mentioned it,
Yeah.
isn't it? You mentioned it. But now focusing on a particular position or direction, don't you think it's going to bore your listener?
Actually, that is boring. It will make the audience to be bored.
That's it.
When you keep looking at one single place, it makes the speech to be boring and the audience will be bored.
They lose interest.
Yes, because you are just looking at one side. You need to look at everybody in the eyes. Look at them, make eye contact. From there, you are getting something from their eyes, and you will understand either they are getting the message or not.
All right. Now, sorry. Let me take you back to the very beginning.
All right.
You know, because right now we're discussing the techniques. You know,
Yes.
of public speaking.
Yes.
That is when you are already a public speaker.
Yeah.
That is what you should do.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are finding it difficult to become public speakers because they believe they can't be public speakers.
Yes. Yes. So actually, from this very reason is that when we go back to the history, look at the Abraham Lincoln,
Yeah.
a former president of America, who
Yeah.
was rated as the number 3 best public speakers in the world. There is what you call as glossophobia. Glossophobia is the fear of public speaking. And Abraham Lincoln had experienced this fear of public speaking in his time.
What does it feel like when you experience such?
Yeah, actually, when I was young, I want to be a public speaker, so I had glossophobia. I had a fear of public.
All right, shake of us. Let's go out on a quick break. We'll come back to glossophobia.
All right, all right.
All right. I hope you're paying close attention to us here. We are teaching you, or Sheikh Abbas is here to teach you on how to speak publicly. A lot of people have this, you know, this eagerness to be public speakers, but they don't even know how to. So you should pay close attention to us and you learn better. Stay with us. We'll continue after the break. Welcome back to Behind the Words BTW, a program that always gives you everything you need to know about a work of art. And today on the show, I have Sheikh Abbas, a public speaking coach. He's here to teach us on how to speak publicly. I know you must be very, very interested in this very show. Welcome back, Sheikh Abbas.
Okay, sir. Let's continue where we start. We start
Yes.
in number 5, which is about practicing.
No, we're
speech.
still discussing. I still want us to. I want to take you back to
All right,
that very feeling, glossophobia.
Yes, actually, when I was young, I had this problem, so I work on it by practicing my speech all the time.
What is it? What does it feel like if you have that?
It actually,
Because you're talking from experience.
yes,
Isn't it? So what did you feel?
So
You read from history, the book of history,
yeah,
that Abraham Lincoln
yes,
once had this problem.
yes,
You understand?
yes.
And he was rated in the third person worldwide.
Yes.
You know, the third best English public speaker, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Now, what does it feel like if you have this problem?
Actually, when you have these problems, whenever you are in gathering, just even listening, you will feel nervous. You understand? You cannot even speak. Even if somebody asks you, please, can you accompany me to a particular occasion? You will say, actually, I don't have interest of going there because you fear to speak before the people because you may ask to say something.
Is it different? Is there any different from stage fright?
It's all the same.
It's all the same.
Yes, actually.
That's the name.
Yes, it has many names. You can call it stage fright, you can call it nervousness, you can fear of public speaking, you can call it glossophobia.
Okay.
But glossophobia is the name of the disease.
It's a disease.
Yes, it's a disease. The name of the disease. Yes, glossophobia.
So do you develop this disease naturally, or
No, everybody has public speaking fear and stage fright. Everybody. And we cannot do away with public speaking fear. Oh, we can only know how to handle with it.
Okay.
But every person has it. We can only know the techniques. By using the techniques, we may be able to speak effectively. Do you get the point? But to do away, to eliminate all the fear is not possible in the history of public speaking.
It is not possible.
It's not possible.
Okay. Well, how do you eliminate it now?
So it's what we are trying to learn.
So let's because I deliberately want us to come back to so that's why I'm asking.
That's what we are doing right now.
Yes.
When you follow these stages, I'm quite sure that you will make the speech effectively without any problems. So the next one is work with a coach, but it's action. You can work with a coach. Like normally what
People like you.
Yes. Normal Obama does this when he wants to give a speech when he was in presidency, White House. He do call his all coaches. And
Public speaking coaches.
Yes. And he will speak before them, talking to them, to see how when he made mistakes, to make some adjustment, to make some corrections where he has problems. There is this gesture is inconsistent, facial expressions, the body language, the way you say this, they need to be correcting him. Do you understand? Look after what all the mistakes he committed. So working with the coach is another technique of public speaking. It helps a lot. For a person to work with the coach will be guiding you, molding you, telling you what to do and what you shouldn't do. But it's action.
Why is it optional?
Yeah, you may decide. You can just say, I don't have to work with a coach.
Don't you think some public speakers have that inbuilt? They are inherently public speakers. They speak intuitively without even learning it.
Actually, this is a very argumentative point you brought. Many people say that there is some innate things in public speaking, which we don't agree with it.
Why
there is some people that with more ability than the things. But public speaking, you need to learn public speaking. There is nothing like
because it's an art, right?
Yes, it's an art. There is nothing like just working up with public speaking techniques. Actually, it's not. I told you that many things that people are normally doing in this contemporary generation saying that it's public speaking is not. So long as persons speak outside of the techniques of public speaking, is not doing public speaking. You need to do public speaking techniques while giving a speech so that you will call that speech as public speaking.
Don't you believe, Sheikh Abbas, don't you believe in this saying, where they said, if you want to make a difference, if you want to be a reference, you need to make a difference. So you need to step out of the circle of these rules and make a difference. How do you believe in that?
Actually, I don't agree with
Why
this.
not?
Because I know there are some stipulated rules that are guiding something. Do you understand? A person is expected to dance within the boundaries of that very thing. So, person should do things within the rules of public speaking, so that we may call that as public speaking.
Wow!
But many things people are just living, digressing and deviating from the teaching of public speaking. You can see somebody, he is a good public speaker, but he tend to be, or he end up insulting, or do you understand, throwing offensive words to somebody, which is not public
I still want to poke you.
Yes.
These rules, these techniques of public speaking are, designed by the so-called professionals, experts, in public speaking, isn't it?
Yes.
Don't you think someone out there who decided not to follow these rules can also make a public speaker, a good one? Let's mention people like Winston Churchill. We know that Winston Churchill is known as an orator, a good public speaker.
Yeah, of course.
Now, do you think people like that went through, or adopted these techniques to speak publicly?
They do adopt, I believe, but they may make some adjustment and some modification to the rules. But they must follow the rules.
Okay, now what can you say about orators?
Yes, orators are public speakers.
Okay.
Yes, they are public speakers.
Must they be public speakers before they become orators, or they are orators before becoming public speakers?
They can be orators, they can be public speakers. When somebody is orator, is a public speaker. When you check the meaning of public speaking, you can see the initial thing is oratory.
Yeah,
do you understand?
oratory, yes.
When it comes to orator. When you say orator, a person who stands before people and to address them. Do you understand? Yes, he is a good public speaker. All right.
Okay. Sorry, I still have to. We're still moving on the same lane.
Yes.
On the same lane. Sometimes back, I used to, delve deep into reading books. You understand? And I came across this Blarney Stone. I don't know if you know anything about Blarney Stone,
Yes.
where people go to. I think it's in Ireland, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
If I'm right about it, I think it's in Ireland. People go to get the power of the gap. How true is that? That anybody who is an orator or a good public speaker must have been to Ireland, must have gone to kiss the Blarney Stone so that he can get the power of the gap. How true is that?
Actually, public speaking is a complex phenomenon. As I told you that
Yeah.
it is something that started for 200 years back by Aristotle and Plato and Socrates and some scholars, I believe. So actually, the journey of public speaking,
Well, all these people, Aristotle, Socrates, and the rest, were they public speakers?
yes, actually,
Were they orators?
yes, they are.
Okay.
They were, sorry,
Okay.
sorry,
Okay.
they were. Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Okay. Okay. So we're still moving on. The Blarney Stone. The Blarney Stone in Ireland, where people go to kiss, so that they kiss the Blarney Stone and get the power of the God, so that they can speak. They can be, good orators. That's the belief of so many people.
All right, that's the belief of so many people.
Yes,
But
yes.
I don't agree with this.
Okay.
I don't agree with this.
Why not?
Actually,
Because when you mentioned public speaking, it was dated, back to 200 years ago.
yeah.
And this Blarney Stone, I'm telling you, is also something that has a lot of history, notifications on it. So don't you think they have something in relation?
Actually, I don't think they have something relationship with this.
Okay.
I can only know that, like in Rome and Italy, in that very years, they do put public speaking as a requirement for somebody to go to higher school, like mathematics and English here in Kano or in Nigeria at large. You need to have public speaking as a criteria for you to go to another level.
Okay.
Is because they value public speaking, because at that very moment they take public speaking as a civic duties.
Wow. So it becomes a prerequisite.
Yes, in every space of life. So a person has to possess public speaking ability and skills before he go to higher school. Like even in court, people with public speaking abilities, they can defend themselves in court, in politics,
Wow.
and also literature. That was the reason of the invention of public speaking by those scholars, Aristotle and Plato and many of them.
Okay. Okay. Now, let's move to the stage fright.
Yes.
Yes, a lot of people have problems with stage fright,
Yes.
and that is actually deterring them from going into the art of public speaking.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So now, how do you do away with stage fright? Like you said, stage fright is a disease.
Yeah, it's a
You
disease.
understand?
Yes.
So how do you get that disease out of your system? Or because obviously you said you cannot completely eliminate it,
yes.
but how do you
manage
it?
Yes, the only way to manage your nervousness is there are some techniques that I'm going to share with you. The first one is know your audience. You have to know to whom you will be speaking, the person, the age, the tribe, the culture, the language, the level of education, what the person loves and what he dislikes. You need to know all this. You need to come out. There's what you call demographic research.
Yeah.
Demographic research is the kind of research a speaker does to know everything as far as the audience is concerned. You need to know them. When you know the audience, you may know how to handle with the audience while giving a speech. Because public speaking is that very complicated things. When you don't know the tribe of somebody, you may end up insulting somebody's tribe unknowingly to you. But when you have knowledge, when you have hints, when you have some tips about how the audience are, you may be able to speak effectively without any problem. So it's another reason how to overcome stage fright. When you know the person, you know how to talk to him. Do you understand?
Yeah.
This reduces.
You know the language.
Yeah, you know the language, and you know the kind of diction you are going to use. Are they from secondary school level? As they A1 students? Are they professors and whatever, and so many other things. So this helps a lot in handling stage fright. Do you understand? And the next one is there's what you call as taking deep breath. Normally, when you start feeling nervous, simply means when you start being in anxiety, you need to take a deep breath. How could you take this one? Like normally, before you even start to give a speech, you need to. People normally call it.
Sorry to breathe in a little. When you say someone needs to take a deep breath,
Yes.
a deep breath, you understand, to get to overcome stage fright.
Yes.
How much deep breath you need to take? Because obviously, before you get there, you're already sweaty. A lot of people, you see them. In fact, they get there. Some people even, go unconscious. They fall.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
They do all these things, yet stage fright, pull them down. So what would you do? How much deep breath are you going to take?
So as soon as the MC, that simply means the moderator of the speech,
Yes.
is calling you to the stage, is where you are to take the deep breath. It's where you are going to take that one. Because people do take shallow one, which is actually wrong. You need to take a deep breath for you to
How deep?
again.
How deep as a coach?
As I mentioned earlier.
Like this?
Yes.
Okay.
Normally they call it in House Jesuit, right?
Yeah.
So that's it. So the next one is focus on your message, not on fear.
Not on fear.
Yes. You need to focus on your message. You need to stick on the message. What is my message? My message is for them to agree with, to buy my product, to persuade them, to agree with the product. So you need to stick on the message, not on the fear. Whenever a person is looking on nothing but the message, do you think he will see the fear? You don't see the fear. His target is for them to get the message, so that he will get what he wants to get.
Sheikh Abbas, I'm still a little bit confused about focusing on one's fear and focusing on one's message, not one's fear. But I would love you to expatiate after this short break. Let's go out on a quick break. We'll come back and you expatiate.
All right.
Yes. And I hope you're still with us. We are still discussing, a lot of techniques that you should get to know while, speaking publicly. A lot of people have this problem of stage fright, no doubt. Like Sheikh Abbas said, he's a public speaking coach. He said that you cannot totally eliminate stage fright. Let's take the remaining part of this program after the short break. Welcome back to BTW Behind the Words, a program that always gives you everything you need to know about the work of art. And right here in the studio, I have Sheikh Abbas. He's a public speaking coach. A lot of people have problems with public speaking. They want to be public speakers, but they don't even know how to. So you pay attention and get to know how to become one. Welcome back.
All right. We're talking about focusing on message, not on fear.
Yes.
So what I'm saying here is that whenever a person is giving a speech, he needs to stick on the message. What is his message? To pass the information. If it's to inform them, just inform them. Your target is just the audience to know what you are saying. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Is it to persuade them? Is to make the audience persuaded? Is it to entertain them? Is to make the audience laugh and relax? So the fear will be nowhere to be found whenever you stick on the message, not on the fear.
A lot of people focus more on the fear.
Yeah.
They focus more on the fear
Yes.
instead of the message. You get it now?
Yeah.
Because I would say more than 50% of people going on stage to speak to the public will focus more, especially if they have stage fright.
Yeah.
They focus more on their fear
Yes.
than even the message.
Yeah.
Now we have seen where people, those who did not even go through any tutorial of public speaking, they become good speakers. They become good public speakers. They no longer have that stage fright, have that fear to talk to people. But then, for a beginner, for a learner, a novice, someone who wants to speak in public, let's take for example, I want to speak in public. Do you understand? But then I have this stage fright. And you said I should focus on the message and not the fear. How do you expect me to do that? Because obviously I have to focus on the fear to get it out of me so that I can focus on the message. Truthfully.
Yeah. As a beginner, there is some school review about this. Some said that you need to, when a person is a newbie to public speaking, is new into the public speaking, simply means he is a novice. That person should be invited to talk first. Allow the person to be talking, trying to be reducing, the fear by building confidence, by allowing him to talk. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So from there, you are trying to eliminate the fear and developing confidence in the mindset of that very person. So that what I sort of believe from that. A person should be called or invited to start talking before you even start teaching him all these rules and regulation of public speaking. So I need to allow you to be talking. Like examples, I just come to class and I see you, I invite you, please come, tell me your name, where are you from, your tribe, your ambitions. What do you want to become? Do you understand? How do you find public speaking? So you can invite the person to be talking, to be familiar with how to talk before the audience. That what you should be, that what you should inculcate in the minds of somebody. You can see a person that never speak public speaking before anyone. So you need to even make the person to be aware of his public speaking, how public speaking looks like. So that from there you are inculcating confidence in the minds of that very person.
You see, people misconstrue public speaking. Just like you said in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because what people do this day and age, it's definitely not public speaking.
Yeah, it's not.
Yes. Because they're stepping out of the rules of techniques
yes.
of public speaking and creating their own.
Yes.
Some people don't even create their own; they just speak.
Yes.
You understand? But in this day and age, if one knows how to, especially public speaking in English language, if you know how to speak English, good English, you know your onions around English language. You know the English grammar. You understand? People tend to give you an accolade as to you are already an orator. I have come across people who believe that they know English, they know the rules of English language. They can speak. Some people will speak intuitively, and they consider themselves as public speakers. You see them on stage, speaking on stage without even learning all the art of public speaking. What can you say to that?
That one is not public speaking. When we say public speaking, we are talking about English, Hausa, or Igbo or Yoruba, all these kind of things. Public speaking is just a speak an independent course. Do you understand? No matter how good you are in terms of English, grammar, pronunciation, literature, and many other things, if you don't learn public speaking, you will not do it the way you should be doing. So we need to learn public speaking as independent course.
Wow.
Yes. No matter how good you are, no matter how blessed your accent will be, no matter how books you read about grammar, so long as you don't know public speaking, you don't know. So you need to learn by heart.
Well, how many people are ready to learn now?
Yes, people are now curiously ready to learn public speaking when they look at the important nature of public speaking. You get the point? Now people realize that public speaking matters. They cannot do without public speaking. Even if they are in their personal lives, in social relationship. Because public speaking helps not only just speaking before the audience, but also in our personal lives. In your office, in your workplace, business, many other things. The way you interact with other people. When you know public speaking, you will be persuasively, handling many people. You will talk to people the way they love to
Listen.
listen. Yeah, of course.
But then I still want to still poke you on still the public speaking aspect. There are some professions.
Yeah.
Professions like let me mention maybe law profession.
Yeah.
A lot of people who study law, or they have a law degree, they have been to possibly law school and possibly have been called to bar. Most of them always consider themselves as public speakers. I don't know if they have taken a particular course on public speaking? I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. For law student, actually, I don't know. But for mass communication student, I know they do take public speaking as a course right now in the UK. I know this. But for law student, actually, I'm not be sure about this. But so, actually, many lawyers, are public speakers because of they do start speaking before the audience right from day one in university. That is why they are like knowing the techniques and knowingly to them.
Okay, can you consider people who study law or who have a law degree and mass communication or journalists, particularly those who do possibly radio presenters or TV presenters, can you consider them as public speakers?
Actually, I don't consider them.
Why not?
Yeah,
Because they speak to the public.
yes. What I only believe is that profession helps them a lot to have public speaking. But if they didn't read public speaking, they are not.
She covers.
Yeah, they are not.
So if you
You can
if
see-
you don't study public speaking as a course, obviously you can be considered as a public speaker.
You cannot be considered unless you learn public speaking, not as a course, but you can learn it in your room, at home, in market, in your shop, whenever you happen to be, you can learn public speaking. What matters here is that we just want you to know the rules so that you can dance within the rules. You will not be violating the standard rules that are guiding public
But
speaking.
even if you violate these rules or you dance within the confines of these rules, nobody will know, obviously.
Yeah,
Even
actually,
if people like you are there in the gathering.
sometimes actually we do understand that. Whenever somebody violates the rules, we do get it.
Okay.
You can see radio presenters, TV presenters, sometimes they are violating one way or the other. Public speaking, throwing a pencil ball to somebody, insulting somebody's religion, insulting somebody's tribe, whatever. As a public speaker, you are not expected. You need to be neutral. You need to be in the meeting. Whoever the person is, he has to be yours.
Okay, now let's differentiate between a public speaker and a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
We have motivational speakers.
Yeah.
You understand? I don't know if you are one of them because you're a public speaking coach. So, what is the difference between a motivational speaker and a public speaker?
Yeah, actually, public speaking is the first stage, that leads you to be a motivational speaker. You cannot be motivational speaker unless you know how to speak before the people and how to even motivate the people and how to even make the people to be to be so energetic or to be somehow motivated. You have to know public speaking first before you even know how to motivate somebody. How could you motivate somebody? You cannot even know how to motivate yourself. You need to know that how can I motivate this guy? Because public speaking teaches you, many things. Even how to motivate somebody. Do you understand? How to make somebody feel energetic. How to make somebody feel he is a human. It helps a lot. The advantages, are many in number. They cannot be mentioned. But public speaking helps not only in motivating somebody, even in bringing somebody to your pocket. What I mean is that to be somebody to be defended.
Yes. Okay, now I still let me still poke you again on the public speaking. Now, when you mentioned public speaking, a public speaker is somebody who motivates. You understand? Somebody is public speaking is the first step. You need to be a public speaker, then you become a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
You get. Now, there are people who study mentalism. Hypnosis. Hypnosis.
Yes.
What can you say about hypnosis? Does public speaking have anything to do with hypnosis? Mentalism?
Yeah, it has. It has.
How?
And that is why we need to speak to people about themselves. They will listen for an hours. Whatever deals with mental processes. Do you understand? Public speaking is there. Because it deals with the mental processes of humans. Do you understand? How to insert something in the brain and the mental processes of somebody. So public speaking is also there. It's also there.
Wow. So which means everything, mentalism, hypnosis, motivational speech, they all fall under the umbrella of
Yes,
public
of
speaking.
course, indeed, yes.
Wow. Okay, now let's take for example, you have someone who doesn't speak the same language as you do, and you need to train that person in public speaking. How do you do that?
No, you need to know the language of that person. The language the person may understand. You need to bring that language. First, you need to know what kind of language the person will understand so that you may use the language and the mediums of instruction to that very person. So that the person may understand what public speaking is all about. Because public speaking is not about the language. As I told you earlier on, it's just as we speak an independent course. So whatever with the language is, you can teach somebody public speaking. With Hausa, with Yoruba, with whatever, with Arab, what kind of language you can teach somebody. So you need to know the language of the person so that the language the person may understand so that you will teach him public speaking through that very language.
All right. Sheikh Abbas, the cream of the crop of this very program is stage fright. How to overcome, because that's the major part. In fact, the part where people are having problems. You understand?
Yeah.
So you're giving us the techniques on how to overcome it.
Yes.
I don't think we're done with it.
Yes, we are coming. Yes, the next one is that is what we call as visualize your success.
Visualize
Your success. Whenever somebody is giving a speech before an audience, the person needs to be visualizing his success. Picturing, imagining that he's speaking, confidently, walking on the hall, or in the room, whatever the case may be. Just confidently, boldly visualizing success, seeing that actually I have my target, the audience are persuaded, the audience are informed or are entertained.
Are you saying that one should do that whilst one is speaking to the audience? You visualize the success.
Yes, mentally. Mentally. That is why I told you public speaking deals or is linked up with mental processes.
Sheikh Abbas, let's go out on another quick break. We'll come back to this.
Right.
And I hope you're enjoying this. Yes, it is very, very, very difficult for people to speak publicly. Why? Because they have stage fright. And we are onto the fact that people should understand that these are techniques that you can overcome stage fright. Let's continue this after this quick break. Welcome back to BTW Behind the Words. If you're just joining us, we're discussing, public speaking, how people should know how to, speak publicly. A lot of people have these problems. Problems of stage fright is usually a problem that will pull you down, especially when you're in front of your audience speaking. And Sheikh Abbas is here. He is a public speaking coach. He's here with us to give us the tips to overcome stage fright. So keep watching. Welcome back.
Yes, we're talking about visualizing your success. As I told you earlier on, whenever a person is giving a speech, he has to be picturing his success, imagining success. The importance of this is it encourages you a lot, motivates you a lot to be speaking, confidently and effectively whenever your mental processes is telling you that what I'm doing here actually is good to people and getting the point, all this. So visualizing your success helps a lot in reducing the anxiety and knowing how to speak before people.
Don't you think if you're visualizing your success, you will digress?
You will digress. You must take your
No, but for people like you who may have studied the art of public speaking, would not digress. But for a beginner, someone who is just beginning to speak publicly, and you tell the person to visualize his success, when obviously possibly he's not even succeeding, and you say that you visualize his success, don't you think that person will digress from the point?
From the point, I don't think he will digress.
Okay.
But it also encourages a person to speak confidently and bringing something that he is talking in his brain about what he is presenting. When some people love positive reinforcement,
Yeah.
encouragement.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Discouragement only kills the skills of somebody. Whenever somebody is encouraged and inspired and motivated,
yes.
you can see the way person speak. Whenever you get something or you do something, you are cherished by others, you will double your effort doing it. Likewise, visualizing your success. Whenever you are visualizing your success, now I'm talking about, this and the audience are persuaded. And I'll get a lot of money because the audience are persuaded. They may buy my product. They will agree with the idea. And politicians, I'm convincing them to vote me during elections. Now, actually, I got their votes. From there, you are visualizing the success, so that you will be doing public speaking confidently.
So obviously, public speaking, like you said in the beginning, public speaking is needed in all the facets of life.
Yeah.
Because as a politician, you need to study the art of public speaking.
You need to study that.
As an advertiser, you also need to study the art of public speaking.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
As a teacher, you need to study the art of public speaking.
Yes, because you are informing your students something. You are adding more knowledge to the knowledge they have. Your audience.
So we also have our clerics.
Yes.
They also need to study the art of public
Yes,
speaking.
of course. They need.
But then, how many people are studying this art? That's the question. What's the percentage?
The percentage actually is not that much, particularly in Nigeria or in Africa in general. The percentage is not like in the Western world. Actually, the percentage is almost 25%.
25%
is out of 100.
Wow.
Because many people now.
That's very low.
Actually, very disappointed. Why people are not embarking on learning this public speaking, despite the nature of the public speaking? Well, we cannot digress. We need to do public speaking. It's something that we need in our life. We need to go along with public speaking in everything that we are doing. If you are a businessman, you need to public speaking. As a civil servant, you need public speaking. As independent person, a journalist, or whatever the case may be, you need public speaking in your life. Because it touches many areas of life. So we need to learn public speaking. That is why you need to be visualizing your success. Number 5 is give yourself mental pep talk.
Wow.
So
how do you do that?
So whenever you are giving a speech, as soon as you start, indulging into negativity, you need to be replacing that negativity with positivity.
Wow.
While giving that very speech, a person should be replacing negative thought with positive thought. That is why you are doing mental pep talk while giving a speech. Imagine, now I'm giving a speech. Then I just start feeling, that guy among the audience is not getting what I'm saying. You will be shocked. You will be saying that, that I'm not getting that point. Try to replace that kind of thought with that, there is one person at the back. He's getting what I'm saying. He's getting the point. Somebody is cherishing my effort. You will be replacing that positive thought, negative one with a positive one. So that's it.
Sorry for breathing in again. In public speaking, sometimes you see the speeches are written on paper. People read from a paper. Is that public speaking?
It's public speaking. We failed to talk about this because of the time factor. There is types of public speaking. There are 4 in number. We call them delivery style. Delivery style there is.
I don't think we should go into that yet because we don't have time now.
All right.
Yes, we don't have time.
Public speaking.
Maybe in our next meeting we'll take the different types of public speaking.
So we call it manuscript public speaking.
Manuscript
public speaking.
Okay.
Yes, it's public speaking also.
Okay. All right. Let's continue with.
So we're talking about I giving you a pep talk, which I told you that it's all about replacing negative thought with positive thought. A speaker should replace negativity with positivity while giving a speech. And the number 6, which is about using deep breath techniques, as I told you earlier on, a person should take a deep breath before he even comes to the stage. And you take that very breath. As soon as the MC is giving you that flattering words, saying that we have, the blessing of this speaker, all these kind of things, you need to be taking your breath silently, exhale and inhale without the knowledge of anybody in that very place.
Well, when you say deep breath, obviously a lot of people will realize that you have just taken a deep breath. Some people will identify your nervousness whilst you just took a
Yeah, that's what we call as facial expressions. You need to be manipulating the audience from understanding that there is something
There's
that you are
something going
feeling.
on.
Yes, yeah, of course. You need to be
Alright,
manipulating.
what's the difference between, in the course of prepping, when you're preparing to go on stage and you're taking a deep breath? What's the difference between you taking a deep breath and heaving a sigh? You heave a sigh, especially a heavy one.
So, that taking deep breath, you should do it, strictly, like just inhale and exhale,
Okay.
without anybody's language, knowledge, sorry, I mean. So, you need to do that without somebody realizing that you are taking deep breaths.
Wow. Okay.
As soon as that you are just standing, you just take your deep breath because nobody will realize the person is taking deep breath.
Wow.
So, that's about,
This
yes.
is some of these arts are usually done on the slide without people knowing.
Yes. One thing about public speaking is that when the speakers that we are speaking, we are feeling nervous, but it's not possible. It's not possible. The audience are understanding or are realizing that we are nervous.
Anyway, that takes an expertise. That
Yes.
takes a special art
Yes.
for you to hide whatever you're feeling from the audience.
Yes. We talk about this.
Even though some of the audience have eagle eye,
Yes.
they can penetrate.
Yes, they can penetrate. Yes. As a speaker, you need to be manipulating the audience from understanding what you are feeling.
Wow.
You need to be, you need to be manipulating them, diverting their attention from understanding that you are nervous. As soon as the listeners or the audience realize the speaker is nervous or he has a stage fright, they will lose interest.
All right. Sheikh Abbas, let's round off now because we don't want our viewers to start losing interest in us. I want to say thank you very much for coming to this for the show. You understand? I know we still have more to discuss.
Yes, of
on
course.
public speaking.
Yes, of
So
course.
hopefully, in our next episode, we'll still see how we can unravel so many things about public speaking.
Yes.
And I hope you will be available for that.
Yes, I will be available.
All right, thank you very much, and I pray you get home safely.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much for watching BTW Behind the Words. Behind the Words, we say, without you, it will never be the program it is. And this is where we close the show for today. We'll see you again in our next episode, where we'll bring you the continuation of the art of public speaking. And until next time,